Salutations, sleuths. I'm Gina.
I'm Maria.
And we are
Fortuitous.
Boom!
Did you start? Okay. We may have gotten that at the same time. We'll see. I was watching your finger.
Would that make it easier for you?
It does. Because the auto sync on whatever software I use isn't working anymore. For like when I sync up like our video to this.
That would drive me insane.
So now I am the auto sync. So I'm sitting here like.
That would drive me crazy. You know, well, we don't have to do it.
We don't.
We can take it away at any time.
But like that's what I used to do, not realizing that the software did have an auto sync option. And then I did that until that broke. And now I'm back to old school.
Okay, well. I got nothing. It's just disappointing.
All right. Today's episode is called New Heart, New You.
Okay.
But also New Nails.
Who dis?
New Me.
Which they've lasted for over a week now.
It's been barely over a week. So these are press-on fake nails. This is my first time doing press-on nails. And I mean, I'm kind of far from the camera, but this is the longest that they have ever been in my entire life of ever. They're femme, they're fierce, they're annoying. I will say that. They are fucking annoying. It's been over a week and I still have not adjusted.
Really?
Really.
Oh, you look like you've acquired.
They don't hurt anymore, which is good. The first couple days they hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, now they're just, it's so inefficient. And like,
she messaged
rough.
me and was like, I'm having such a hard time. This is coming from the woman who we have all been there.
It's supposedly so tough.
In the conversation, we have all discussed this woman's lack of empathy. And here I am like...
Yeah, so
here I go.
A little context here. I am having a full-blown meltdown on the very first day because we've gotten to the end of the day. They've hurt me all day. And I go to take my contacts out. And, I don't know how to take them out with nails. And so that was the camel that broke the straw.
That would be tough.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back, yeah. So I, not totally against the wall, but I wanted to. And, I send Gina a heartfelt, I'm struggling video. Like, bitch, tell me, how do you take them out? And Gina is, just at Sunday soccer thriving. She sends back, figure it out. I don't know. Woman up. I'm like, you whore. I will remember this the next time you are struggling and you want me to be empathetic.
Oh man, it's me just trying to you have 5, I had 0. I just needed 1 point. I needed 1. So this
needed
was my
one little jab. Yeah.
And I'm like, here I go. And I was like, man up and figure it out. Empathy, none
today.
You're like, I think sympathy is the word it was the other way around.
Yeah.
I said sympathy. I have no sympathy, and you're like, I think empathy is the word you're looking for.
I think it was the reverse, but it's neither here or there.
Might be. Anywho, she did figure it out. Her homeboy Vic did look up.
Yeah, I didn't even figure it out. Vic sent me videos because I'm also crying to him. He's at his parents' house. He is at his parents' house and he sends me YouTube videos.
That's true love.
It really is. It's a green flag.
I must warn everybody, I do have a cold. I'm getting over a cold, but I've got that cough that's like, ugh, gross.
Yeah. Stay away from me. But I will say that 3 spooky things happened to me as soon as I got the nails. Because I'm like, did I become a witch with these? Like, did this complete my transformation?
No.
Okay. I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget.
Oh my God.
But, so the very first day, the next day, I'm sitting over at the table and I'm typing away, doing all the stuff, and I had the lights on. All of a sudden, the lights flicker and it gets really cold, and then the lights shut off, and then the fan turns on.
Okay,
all
that
on
is
its
really weird.
fucking own.
You didn't tell me that.
No, I was waiting till tonight.
Of course you were.
Yeah.
What if something happened to you between then and now? And then you didn't have the chance to tell me.
Well, they were
What if
in my
you were
notes,
killed?
so then maybe if someone's like looking at stuff, they would find it in my notes.
It all makes sense. 'Cause that's where someone would go.
Because I was like, shit, did I open some possession or whatever? Because we did the Mystic Fair. I have Theo in the house, and then I got the black nails.
Theo's behind us.
Yep, he's right here, so we can see the squirrels. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just sitting here at the table minding my business. Flickers, gets cold, and then the fan turns on. Didn't touch it, and then I'm over there trying to turn the lights on, and the light won't turn on. And then every time that I press something, then the fan just goes high, medium, low.
Wait, you said the fan turned on?
The fan turned on.
Oh, I was thinking like maybe you just had a fuse.
No.
But no.
The lights turned off and the fan turned on.
Ew.
And I'm like sitting here like...
What was the second thing that happened?
The second thing was I went for a run. This is like an hour or two later, and I'm running by this abandoned church, and all of a sudden I hear a thud, and as I look, it is a black bird that rammed itself into the window as I ran by it. In an abandoned church, a black bird, and it was loud as shit.
Maria. Cues. In threes, my love.
Okay.
When did the third one happen?
Then the third one was not that same day. I would have called an exorcist to come check me out.
When the second one happen?
That was the same day. It was within an hour of the fan turning
But
on.
like when was
This is like so we did our movie night and did the nails. This is the very next day. This is within 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
And then this third thing that happened was still, I would say within 36 hours.
Okay.
And I'm again on my like little laptop. Things are fine, and then I go and light some candles, and out of nowhere, my laptop screen starts flickering, and it won't stop flickering until I blow out the candles.
You're joking.
No,
What told you
shit
to turn
not.
or blow out the candles?
Because it only started happening when I lit the candles. And they're from my like new antique things that I got from Goodwill.
And you want to have, I'm not going to spoil, but I'm going to spoil. You want to have that person come sit in here
With her dolls.
after that?
Nothing has happened within the last few days, so I think I'm okay.
I don't want to be in this house.
Except that person.
Don't point at me like that when you have something like what you're going to say. Except that person.
Experience.
Don't. Maria, I don't want to be here anymore.
What did I unleash?
Are you going to tell people what?
I think I will save it because I don't know if she will listen.
You're
but
not going to save it. I'm going to tell it for you if you don't tell it. That shit needs to be put out there and left on red.
I may have had a very bizarre interaction with a person at the mall. It's just, it doesn't happen every day anymore.
And it's so funny the way that this processed, her telling me this happened. I was sitting there like, this is like something seriously wrong. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, are we really messed up to thinking this is wrong?
Right, like
She was just being a nice person.
that's what we think, but I'm being suspicious. So this one person, she's chatting me up. First, she compliments my pants, which I was like, she said they were cool. I was like, I know, thank you. And then she, because I know that they are. That's why I bought them. And then I'm buying Christmas gifts, and so I have a handful of shit. And she, starts asking me about the stuff that I have in my hands, and I say it's for these certain people. And then she's asking questions about those certain people, and like she's keeping the conversation going, right? And we're like literally in the middle of like an aisle in a very busy place, so we're in the way.
It's giving creepy interrogation.
And like but like that's the thing is like, so people used to just strike up conversations with people, right? So are we so that far disconnected from face-to-face people and everything has to happen on the internet or via social media first that we can't do
Before
it?
anyone starts thinking anything further, I want you to keep going and tell how this ends.
Okay, so, so I'm telling her about the gifts that I'm getting for these specific people, and then I'm telling her about these specific people because she has questions about them, and then she's asking me what I would, get for myself and my taste preferences, and then, ask me what I do for work, and I tell her, and then she asks if I have a business card, which... No, I don't. I don't have pockets in these cool pants, so no business cards.
I love it. I love the question.
Who the fuck has a business card?
It's so funny to me.
It threw me off. Granted, and I will say, this lady is younger than I am. It's not like she's, it's not like a 56-year-old lady, okay? That would have been totally normal. This is someone younger than I. We did look her up. She's 24 years old. So it was just very bizarre. I say, no, I don't have a business card. So then I'm like, what's your socials? We can connect on the socials. And she tells me like, oh, I'm one of those people that will have it for a while, then I'll delete it, get it back. And I just posted a bunch of wedding photos and then I just deleted them. And I was like, okay.
I'm over here while she's telling me the story thinking, okay, cool. Do I give a fuck? I'm mean. I'm having my mean my mean hat on.
Yeah. And so then I'm like, okay, so no socials. And then she asked to exchange numbers. And I'm like, shit, that's not where I wanted this to lead to. Because I'm like, this is a random ass person. I'm trying to do my Christmas shopping. What are you doing? What's the end game here? Gina theorized that she was like feeling like it was like a certain vibe and we were totally vibing. But I was just being a nice, polite person.
So, yeah, okay. So did you give her your number?
Yes, because I'm too nice. Well, because so part of me thought about giving her a fake number, and when I typed it in, I accidentally did get one digit off, and I thought about leaving it. But she made a comment while I was putting it in there that she will text me right away so that I will have her number. And I felt like it was almost a test also, like, you better give me your number.
It's a thing. People do it.
Yeah. I mean, it was smart, so I'm like, fuck. So, yeah, I gave her my real number, and then she texted me right away. I didn't respond, and then it's 2 days later, which is today, and she has followed up, and she wants to pick up where we left off, reconvene our conversation.
Pick up where you left off? What is there to leave off from?
We left as strangers, let's leave it as strangers.
It's called small talk for a reason, except it wasn't small talk.
It wasn't.
That's the thing.
It was medium talk.
She dragged it.
Yeah.
And you're telling me the way you're describing it, the picture you're painting, you have a bunch of shit in your hands. Your neck is getting kinked.
Yeah, I got a kink in my shoulder.
People walking around you.
Yeah, we're in the fucking way.
It's giving a small talk, like you hit it off in the aisle with a person, but you carry on and you have a nice passing, and then you go home.
Never to be seen again.
You never to be seen again, but you go home and say, I had a nice conversation with a person in the aisle today.
I got complimented on my pants.
Yeah, that's what it should be left off at.
Period.
But no, this is let's become best friends. We met in the store. And so that is where I say, I do theorize, were you just being nice? But also, no matter how nice you are, what did it take for you to give off that you were in the mood to have a full-blown conversation and then carry on later on? That doesn't exist.
See, I felt like I didn't.
I don't think at any part... A part of me for a second was like, are we being rude by thinking she's being too much when she's not, doing a whole lot? But no, she, in fact, is just overstepping, period.
Well, see, that's where I don't think so either. I think she was just being nice, and maybe I thought I was giving off signals that I was, half in this conversation, half not. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe.
What information do we have to give to a listener for them to tell us what they think? I feel like we've given it all out there. Do you think that she's being a little too much?
Anyway, we're having a conversation tomorrow night at 6:45. We have it penciled in. She asked if we could call tonight, and I said, no, I'm busy tonight because we're recording tonight. But we are going to have a conversation because I'm just too curious. What does she want?
So what does she want? Picking up where she left off.
We are going to pick up where we left off.
God.
So, yeah, I'll stay tuned for an update on what that conversation entails. And I'm going to ask her, what do you want? Are you wanting friends? Are you wanting to network?
Will you update us?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
telling people now. Like, there will be a follow-up.
So we have a phone call tomorrow at 6:45.
Yeah, it's just so specific.
Is she weird?
6:45.
No.
She'll call me.
God damn it. Okay.
All right.
I'm glad we got our weird ass catch up. Do we want to tell people what's going on, what we got in our back pocket?
No, so let's leave that.
All right.
Gina and I are working on something very exciting, and it's in the works, and we'll reveal some nuggets here and there. But yeah, no, I think just stay tuned.
Okay.
We got something fun and exciting going on. Something that we've not done before. We kind of have, but not really. So this is still something totally new that we
Good
haven't
way to
done.
describe it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, carry on. What are we talking about today?
Okay, so today we are talking about the heart wants what the heart wants. We're talking some controversial science. We're talking about stories of people who have undergone whole ass personality changes after receiving a new heart. And not any random personality, but they have obtained the personality of the donor. So,
Okay.
yeah. So
That's a cool concept.
right?
You caught me left field.
Yeah, so I stumbled across one story, and I was digging into that, and I found out that there's a ton of stories out there where people have claimed and so first I thought it was just heart, but there's other organs also where people are claiming that they've received an organ and their personality has changed, their taste in music, their taste in food, their sex drive, many things have changed with the new organ, and then they find out that they were the preferences of the donor.
Ooh. Oh, okay. I'm getting mixed reaction.
Yeah.
A little weirded out. Also,
Fascinating.
yeah. Also, it's cute. It's cute in a way.
It can be. But what
Right.
if you get the heart of an evil person? You know?
I have my own thoughts on that, regardless if they pick up the likeliness of that person. Can you imagine? Are you going to get into a story about that?
I have multiple stories of people.
Getting hearts transplants or organ transplants from people that are bad? Because I don't
not
know
like
what
criminals.
to say to that. That's what I'm thinking.
I didn't come across any. They're not all happy stories, I will say that.
Okay. All right. I'm just putting that in my back pocket. I want to know what it's like to have a organ transferred into my body being given from someone that was evil.
Right. And that's where it says this is a controversial science, because there's evidence to back up yes, but evidence to back up no also.
Okay.
And, there's the idea that, the heart is an essence of a person. So, does that essence ever leave, regardless if it's in its original body or not? And so, we will get, a little scientific here. But, apparently, these reportings of inexplicable personality changes have gone all the way back to, 1967. And I'm sure it started happening before that, whenever transplants started happening, but this was when we started seeing reportings of it.
Okay. Sorry. I'm still thinking about you saying
6:45.
I'm sorry. That just replayed in my head randomly. And I'm trying to get serious and talk about heart
The
transplants.
actual episode.
Anyways, I have a meeting with her at 6:45 tomorrow. You're gonna have to.
I'll cut that part out.
Oh man, me having a coughing fit. Sorry.
That's
All
right. All right, so there's an article published by a neurologist named Paul Pearsall, and he describes 10 heart transplant recipients who experienced personality changes in 97. So he has an article of 10 whole people. So what are the percentages of people that experience personality changes? One article by Psychology Today found that 89% of organ transplant recipients describe personality changes.
Wow.
89%.
Okay.
Granted, I don't know sample size, I don't know years, but this is what one article was saying.
But this only have 10 people.
No, this is a different article.
Sorry.
The article of the 10 people, those all 100% of those, the whole article was based on people that did have personality changes. So 100% there. Another article was looking at various people who had transplants, and 89% described personality changes.
Okay.
And then a study from University of Colorado was the first to quantify the personality changes after an other organ transplant. So not just the heart, but other organs, kidneys, lungs, etc. But the study was too small to be like statistically significant. This is May 2024, so this is recent. So it was too small, and a lot of the studies focus on the heart because all the like anecdotes or stories of people experiencing personality changes, most of them are heart related. They're the more extreme ones, the more fantastical ones, more dramatic ones. And it's only now that's a recent thing that now they're looking at other organs. So that's gaining more traction. So it did say that like more research will be done. And scientists have found cells from the donor cycling around in the recipient's body as long as like 2 years after the transplant. It is like, what happens to those cells, right?
Yeah, well, okay, call me stupid. Is it my arrogance? I'm thinking that the cells don't die. They keep growing.
And they would like stay in there forever.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I guess cells can die, obviously, but I'm thinking they're regenerating, they're growing, they're not. But then I didn't think they ever went away.
Well, apparently, I was looking into it, and where the cells go and what happens to the DNA is a mystery.
I bet any scientist that actually knows what happens to...
They're like, these dumbasses.
Take us with a grain of salt.
I know. This is... Okay, I was trying not to get...
fortuitous.
I'm not in science. So I'm not claiming that, like, you know, I know this. This is based off of, like, what I was finding. I did want to get a little science behind it because I was genuinely curious. And this article says that it is a mystery, and that 2 years afterwards, scientists have found cells of the other person still in their body. Anywho, in 2022, more than 150,000 organ transplants occurred worldwide. Out of those 150,000, I don't know how many experienced a personality change. So some, like, post-surgery, some will say that they feel less like themselves. There was a recipient in the 90s who reported all of a sudden developing a love for music, who, like, you know, music was, like, fine, never cared for it, but now all of a sudden was obsessed with music, loved music. And, you know, they could never play before, but after the transplant, began to love music, and they could play, and, quote, felt it in my heart. The donor was a young male musician.
Wow.
And then, okay, so I'm going to preface all of this with, like, so normally you don't know anything about your donor. You don't know name. You don't know, like, they keep all of that stuff pretty confidential. And it's only, like, later on, if you are able to connect with a family member, then do you learn about said person. So, you know, because I can see people will start saying the argument, well, like, oh, confirmation bias. Like, they know that they came from a musician, so now all of a sudden they feel musically inclined. Well, a lot of these people don't know anything at all about their donor, and all these weird shit is happening to them, and then they go out of their way to find out why, and then that's when they discover the similarities between their donor and what they're now experiencing.
I could see it.
Yeah. And then an online survey of 23 heart recipients and 24 other organ recipients, so 47 total, 90% experienced personality changes after surgery.
Wow.
90%. So it's like, you know, it's something to consider when you are needing a transplant. Like, I know beggars can't be choosers, and you're going to take something over nothing, but...
Now, I can definitely see a personality changing after getting a new heart, because, let's face it, you're getting a new life. Of course it's
a traumatic experience. It's a life-changing experience, yeah.
But for it to change in the direction of what the previous heart owner
Yeah.
was.
The previous owner.
How do you say it? What's the better way to say it?
The donor.
The donor's heart?
Yeah.
To think of it as like what they used to be, I mean, I could definitely see that is wild. But for personality changes to happen in general, I mean, I think that's almost a given. Like, I can't really see someone just, you know,
Going back to their same old Cindy.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
But so some of the things that they talk about is not just personality, but it's like taste in food, it's taste in art, sex, careers. In this survey,
Sex.
we're like, sex positions
Okay.
or sex preferences. Like, I do have a sex story.
Okay.
Okay. Put it in there just for Gina.
Thanks.
In the survey, they were talking about these 90% of people were talking 4 or more personality changes. So that's temperament, that's emotions, that's food, that's identity, that's religious beliefs. So not just like, you have a new outlook on life because now you got a heart and you get a second chance. Mm-hmm. We're talking changes all over the place.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then what is interesting, because it doesn't just stop there, it goes so far as memories. Some people are claiming to have new memories as well. And that's what fascinated me. So, like, for example, a 56-year-old college professor, he receives the heart of a police officer who was killed by a gunshot to the face.
Jesus.
I know. Few weeks post new heart, this professor starts having dreams of, quote, a flash of light right in my face. And just before that time, I would get a glimpse of Jesus. He's never had this dream before. He gets the heart. I don't know if he knows about the police officer or not. So he starts having these dreams. But then he says something really specific about how he gets glimpses of Jesus. Well, it turns out that the main suspect in the case happened to look like Jesus.
Okay.
So, like, is he seeing the very last thing that the police officer saw?
That is interesting.
Right?
That's fascinating. And I'm sure he didn't know that part. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Right, and that's what I don't know. Like, some
Okay.
stories I have details and some I don't have total details. But, consider this. Like, where are memories stored? Is it just the brain? Or can we have memories stored all over? Like, why is it only brain specific?
It's tricky. I wish I did know more to be able to dive into that more, because think about it. You are often triggered, like your brain will cut off memories and will go the dark route, for example. When things are so bad and so traumatizing, your mind
Repress.
will completely cut it off. Yeah. But there are tactics like pulling smells or
Or touch or
yes.
taste, yeah.
to kind of regenerate those memories. And I don't know how that all works. I wish I did, but I think a lot of it has to do with neurotransmitters, receptors, everything's moving.
Right, but I think all of that is still like in the brain, and it will trigger like the brain to remember something.
I can't help but going back to the brain. I think it is all brain related.
Right, and this is where it gets like controversial, because there's also some studies that suggest otherwise.
Okay.
And that and this is where I try to get also a little bit more scientific. So a review found memories can be stored in the DNA, RNA, proteins, and I looked up how to pronounce this and then I didn't phonetically spell it out. Epigenetic.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I remember now.
Oh,
Epigenetic.
good.
Because it's EPI, but you go epigenetics.
Epigenetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And epigenetic changes in the cells outside of the brain. So epigenetics, that's just the study of how like environmental and behavioral factors affect your gene expression without altering the DNA sequence.
Okay.
So we're talking like age, we're talking diet, smoking, drug use, external factors. So all human characteristics, including the psychological ones, are influenced to some extent by genetics. So meaning, all of the science stuff meaning, so if memories and human characteristics or personality are influenced by genetics, then they can also be influenced by epigenetics. So, what shaped the person based on their diet, lifestyle, etc. And so our sense of self that arguably is contained in every cell of our bodies and not just the brain. Arguably.
I do feel like I've heard this somewhere.
Right.
Like the DNA.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. It's going to drive me crazy where I've heard it, though.
Well, people are talking about now, like, generational trauma, right? So, like, something...
Is that what it is?
Something happens to grandma, way back in the day, and then all of a sudden, like, the grandchild is, experiencing trauma effects without having anything traumatic, happen to them.
Or is that what it is? We've talked about this in a different episode, where we were talking
the
about
phobias.
Yes, and how that's genetic.
Yes.
And I'm like, fucking hell.
So there could be some truth to it.
If we're getting more...
Okay, but then, like, mental illness, that's genetic, and that gets passed down, and...
I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more.
I know. Could have gone down a whole ass rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so then the question becomes, can those be transferred with a donated organ? And based on these stories, it seems like yes. And then, if you really want to get spiritual, religious about it, you can, some people call it God, some people call it Jesus, some Allah, whatever you want to call it, the universe, energy, like, that doesn't just disappear, right? It recycles. Reincarnation.
Mm-hmm. Carry on. She's waving her hands around a lot. It's acting like I'm supposed to understand it, but I'm not.
Well, like, that energy of that person goes from their heart into the next person. That energy just doesn't disappear. Mm-hmm. Now that person takes in that other person's energy. Mm-hmm. We're all just made of stardust. Or to quote Gladiator, because I'm still on that kick, what happens in life echoes in eternity.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well done.
Russell Crowe said it way better, but I've been obsessed with it.
Okay.
All right. So some things to consider. One is what you said, is that receiving a transplant is kind of a big deal. It's a life-altering event, so there's an emotional impact of receiving a new heart or a new organ. So there's that. But what that doesn't explain is how people experience, like, the same of the donor. Like, the same food taste or the same sex preferences.
Oh, sure. Okay.
When it changes that drastically.
Yeah.
Like, how does it match exactly of the donor?
Or it's weird because I'm curious, when they when they left surgery, they go out into the real life. They're like, I'm craving cottage cheese. Mom's like, honey, you've never liked cottage cheese. Why? What?
Why not?
I'm wondering, is it that drastic or?
Yes. So shall we go straight to that story?
Yes.
It's not cottage cheese per se, but it is something. So there's a lady named Claire Sylvia, and she's probably one of the most profound names that pop up if you look at organ transplant personality changes, because she's written a whole book. This is my own opinion, but she kind of has a flair for the dramatic. So she's kind of made like a big deal out of it. So her name will pop up a lot, and people use her as like a case study, etc.
Okay.
So we'll get into her, but she was dying at the age of 47 from pulmonary hypertension, which increases the body's blood pressure in the lungs, and that oftentimes leads to death. In 1988, she became the first person in New England to receive a heart-lung transplant. So this is a big deal. This is the very first time that
you get suckered in for story time.
I know.
With my booties.
I know, with the boots. On the new couch.
Okay. We want them... Here, slide off. There we go.
Do you want me to take them off, or are you just sliding them off?
No, like the
bottoms of the boots are off.
Yeah, okay. They're off. You want to take them off?
No, I guess that will suffice.
Okay.
They're new boots. But I was noticing.
like seeing your
Distracted
body,
by
like, Gina!
Gina's boots on my new couch.
That is like any classic thing. Here, take them off.
All right. I didn't want, like, my first
Are you
new
ready
couch.
to see my socks, though?
Are they of Greg?
No. They're just basic.
Oh. Basic.
Athletes.
A Nike's under boots.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm ready.
Ready.
For story time.
All right. I'll start it over. Okay, so Claire, she's 47 years old and she's dying because she has a heart disease. And so in 88, she becomes the first person in New England to receive a heart-lung transplant. While she's recovering from surgery, a reporter is in the room with her because this is a big fucking deal. She's the first person in New England to have this happen. So they wanted to ask her questions and how she felt, etc., get the story. And then the reporter at one point asked her, like, now that you've had this miracle, what do you want more than anything else? And Claire's immediate response was, I would love a beer. I'm dying for a beer. Which, before that, Claire hated beer, never drank it, never cared for it, didn't even think that that's what she wanted. Her own answer surprised herself that was the first thing that came out of her mouth was, I'm dying for a beer.
Okay.
So that was, peculiar. Her donor was an 18-year-old male victim of a motorcycle accident. So was he a big beer drinker? Probably. In the months...
We don't know.
Well, we find out, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In the months that followed her surgery, Claire noticed that she had more confidence than she's ever been in her life. Mm-hmm. Her gait took on a manly tendency, apparently. Apparently she started walking like a dude, which I don't know what that is, but I guess, a little bravado in her step. But apparently people noticed that she was walking different, which could be a confidence thing. She was still attracted to men, but she didn't feel the need to have a boyfriend. She was just like, I'm fine on my own. But she felt the need for speed. She craved action. She craved adventure, which was very abnormal from herself. Mm-hmm. And she became more assertive. So that's within the first few months after surgery. And then also, a few months after surgery, Claire started having dreams and sensations about her donor. And she documents in her book, A Change of Heart, like all the dreams and all her experiences. So if you want to check the book out, you can. But she says that the defining moment came for her a few months post-surgery when she had a dream about a tall young man with sandy hair. And in her dream, she knew this man as Tim L. So she's having this dream, she sees this man, and in her mind, she just names him Tim L. And then she says she woke up knowing that Tim was her donor, and now, quote, some parts of his spirit and personality were now within me. And like I mentioned before, transplant patients, they are never told the names of their donors, privacy reasons, confidentiality clauses, etc. They're told very little, if anything at all, about their donor. So, Claire had no idea who her donor was. I did find out later that she did overhear a doctor or someone say that it was an 18-year-old motorcycle victim, but I don't think that they specified male or they didn't say the name or anything else like that. Mm-hmm. So the name of her donor, we find out, is actually Timothy Lamirandi.
Ew!
So it is a Tim L.
That's so odd.
So she had a dream that his name was Tim L. And then she finds out later that it actually is Timothy L.
Had I found that out after having those dreams and knowing in my head that I had a dream about someone named Tim L., I would freak out. I don't think that would be a dreamy, life-altering moment. It would be like, what the fuck is happening to me? That would put me off.
Yeah, I think different people have different reactions to finding out the cause of their changes.
Okay.
But I do want to read a little excerpt from her book describing this dream, and that's where I say I feel like it's kind of got a flair for the drama. Okay. But I'll let you be the judge. Quote, I'm in an open outdoor place with grass all around. It's summer. With me is a young man who is tall, thin, and wiry with sandy-colored hair. His name is Tim. I I think it's Tim Layton, but I'm not sure. I will think of him as Tim L. We're in a playful relationship, and we're good friends. It's time for me to leave, to join a performing group of acrobats. I start to walk away from him, but I suddenly feel that something remains unfinished between us. I turn around and go back to him to say goodbye. Tim is standing there watching me, and he seems happy when I return. Then we kiss. And as we kiss, I inhale him into me. It feels like the deepest breath I've ever taken, and I know that Tim will be with me forever.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I'm saying.
Was that the dream?
That was her dream.
That wasn't a dramatic dream. That was a good dream. That's a good dream.
You don't think that that's... I found the last sentence to be dramatic.
And that we would be together forever?
Okay, she's 47, he's 18. We kiss, and as we kiss, I inhale him into me. It's the deepest breath I've ever taken, and Tim will be with me forever.
I forget he's 18 and she's 47. I'm sitting here like, oh, that's beautiful.
And she's like coming up on 50, and he's not even legally able to drink.
And yet she wanted a beer. We get to the part where he's a beer drinker, because what?
All right, so she wakes up, she's exhilarated, she's relieved. This man she felt was her donor, and now she feels like they're one after this one dream. So that was her defining moment. 9 months later, she has a second dream, and which only fuels the fire of her burning questions even more. So she's like, all right, I got to meet this family. I need more answers. So she tries to get some sort of information from the hospital, which they say, no, woman, we can't do that, HIPAA, all of that stuff. But she's relentless for answers, so she instills the help of a friend, and her and this friend actually track down Tim's obituary in a newspaper.
Wow.
So they are going newspaper through newspaper, and they finally find Tim's name. So this is where she confirms that it's Tim Limerandi. So at this point, she still thinks of him as Tim L. So she's searching newspapers without even having his full name. And then she finds the family, because the name and address are there, tracks him down. They're happy to meet her. And when they meet her, then the family then confirms all of Claire's new food preferences, including the beer, green bell peppers, chicken nuggets. Those were all Tim's favorite foods.
It's random.
It is random, right?
Okay.
But that's not all. So 10 years later, Claire receives a kidney transplant from her ballroom dancing partner, aka ex-boyfriend. What an ex.
Okay.
Get yourself an ex that will donate their kidney to you after you guys have broken up. What a guy.
I know. Also, 2 transplants in less than 10 years? What's going on, girl?
Dude, and then later...
She's in her 60s. I guess it's whatever.
Well, she would be 57 at this point. Second transplant. Well, the first one is heart-lung. This is kidney. Another article that I read would go on and say that she developed Parkinson's. So she had a whole bunch of health issues.
Okay.
Anyway, so she does get the kidney, and then this go round, she develops a fondness for cooking, and she ends up, which was what she got from the donor, from her ex-boyfriend, who loved to cook, and she ends up cooking like him. And then, so I feel so Claire's stories, I feel aren't as strong as some of the other ones.
Yeah, I want you to hit me with a bigger bang.
Okay.
Because I'm always going to be second guessing and...
devil advocating.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, okay, maybe if this fucker is giving her his kidney, then is she just out of respect... Wait, did he die?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm out of respect, she's cooking more, because that's something he loved to do. But never mind. I don't know. But it's
you start feeling better and you appreciate the little things in life. I'm going to start cooking for myself.
Right. And then
I was surprised that her story is the predominant story when it comes to personality switches, because to me it wasn't as compelling as some of the other ones.
And you're going to hit us with that one for the starters?
Because you said when they wake up and they want cottage cheese, she woke up and she wanted beer. And so I did it based off of the segue.
Okay. Fair enough. Now segue with a big bang. I want a banger.
What
A big bangerang.
All right. Speaking of bangs,
Okay.
we'll go dark humor.
I
We can either go dark humor or we can go sexual.
Okay.
We'll go dark. All right. So here's a story that caught my attention that sent me down the rabbit hole. So this is a story of Sonny Graham. Sonny Graham was a 57-year-old heart transplant recipient. He received his heart from a suicide victim named Terry Cottle. Terry Cottle. What?
Give me your hairband.
Oh.
God bless. Carry on.
All right. I'll start that one over. So 57-year-old Sonny Graham, he receives his heart from a suicide victim named Terry Cottle. Sonny later on and meets Terry's wife. They end up getting married. So share the same heart, share the same wife, share the same cause of death. Sonny ends up shooting himself. Suicide.
Hold on. Why was he with his wife?
Oh, I have the story.
I'm here for it.
All right.
Because she's giving evil, is what she's giving. For two people in her life to commit suicide?
Well,
That's where my head
It's been
went.
confirmed that they were suicides.
Right, but I'm
Like
saying,
this poor woman
Well, I love how that's where your head went. I'm like, what did she do to these men?
to drive them nuts.
Drive them into suicide. But that's my dark
I'm
head.
thinking this poor woman. To lose two partners that way?
But did she know that that was the donor heart?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
She fell in love and married someone that her husband gave their heart to. Or maybe some people would see it as romantic. I don't see that as romantic. Let her rip.
1995, Sonny Graham, 57 years old, he's suffering from congestive heart failure, receives a heart from suicide victim Terry Cottle. Cottle suffered from mental health issues and after having an argument with his wife, proceeds to shoot himself in the head. Sonny receives the heart, and like many recipients, he is curious to meet the family or the loved ones of the donor. And so he ends up writing letters, and he meets Terry Cottle's wife, Cheryl, in 1997. So this is 2 years post-surgery. She was 28, and Sonny was 59 at this point. Despite
Is she 28?
She's 28, and Sonny is 59.
Okay.
Despite their age difference, they hit it off. Quote, I felt like I had known her for years. I couldn't keep my eyes off of her, Sonny explains.
Sonny boy. She's 29. Of course she's fine. She's in her prime.
No, she's 28, but still.
Whatever.
So, she is recently widowed, and Sonny himself has got a wife. Later on, we find in a letter that he writes that he admitted to falling in love with Cheryl the very first time that they met. So it was love at first sight for perhaps both of them. Sonny ends up divorcing his wife of 38 years. And 10 years after the transplant, Cheryl and Sonny get married.
I don't like this story.
And then in tragic coincidence, at the age of 69 in 2008, 12 years post-transplant, Sonny takes his own life the exact same way as his donor, Terry, shooting himself in the head.
Where did that heart go?
Hopefully to the ground.
Did it keep on swimming?
Did they keep on, cursing people?
Oh, man.
But so following
Oh.
his death, a lot of people proposed various theories. And one of them happened to be that, the heart maintained a, quote, suicide gene. And that, Sonny would have been fine had he not had that heart and felt compelled or driven towards suicide.
And you know what's so sad is to get a heart transplant and then waste it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be that guy that's gonna call that out. I'm a little salty that he ended his life after getting a heart transplant.
A lot of people are on the list and don't get it.
Oh my gosh. Like, if you get another shot at your life, you better be doing damn well near everything to keep that second life of yours alive.
Right, but okay, so let's argue the other side and say that, like, memories and everything like that does transplant also. What if Sonny was, like, totally fine before, well, he wasn't totally fine, but personality-wise, mental health-wise, he was fine. And then he gets this new heart. And then for 12 years, he has suffered because it's just, you know, he's got now, like, the suicidal thoughts and the depression. I mean, I didn't go down a rabbit hole to see what those 12 years were like. But, you know, what if he had been haunted for 12 years with this new heart? What if Terry Cottle was one of those really bad guys?
Yeah, you're right. I know suicide is a tricky spot because a lot of people maybe have lost their people, their friends, family, whatever, have it to suicide. So it's a touchy spot.
I mean, I do think that is totally selfish. The people that do commit suicide, it's totally selfish. Like, you're not ending your pain. You were just passing it off onto your loved ones. So if you have any love whatsoever in the world, if it's not towards yourself, but towards your friends and family, then you hang around for them.
There's a lot that goes into this little bowl of chaos.
I know, it does.
One, he chose to not only go into the, I'm going to go find out where this was from, where it's valid. I understand.
I would be curious too. Yeah.
But you decided to leave your wife and marry his wife.
Yeah. That's a lot. Those are choices.
Yes, that was a little messy right there off the bat. 38 years, left it.
Yeah.
Then went into this marriage.
But then what if it's one of those things where, like, you know, it, like, you know, you get this new organ transplant and you are kind of like a different person. What if Sonny became Terry with this heart?
I mean, it's possible. And I don't know. But I think that is...
Because I'm trying to think, okay, so, you know, let's say...
I can't say I believe it, but I also haven't had a heart transplant, so...
Like, what if, like, Vic's heart went into someone else? Would I fall in love with that person? I don't know.
I don't think so, because those transplants happen all the time, and that's not happening.
I know. These are, like, you know, specific stories.
Yeah.
It's, you know...
Like, this is, like, a one-off chance that's just very unfortunate.
It's a haunting coincidence. It's a perplexing tale of interconnected lives and fate. But yeah, I mean, this was the one that caught my attention.
Okay.
But this one also made me think, like, do you believe that when it's your time, it's your time?
Well, what is my time? Is my time...
Do you believe that you have, like, that you will, when it's your time to die, you will die? You can't fight fate. Like, it is what it is.
It's tricky. Are you saying that in this case, his fate was to kill himself?
No, I'm asking you, your personal belief.
No, I would fight. I'm going to fight. And then if fighting and it still ends, then that's my fate.
Right.
But yeah, I think that my fate, personally, is to always put in a fight.
Well, yes, I'm not saying to not go without a fight. But do you believe when it's your time...
Well, that's what some people would argue, is you shouldn't fight because that's your time. Your body is giving up on you.
Okay, but so let's, for argument's sake, that we do believe that we will go when it is our time to go, regardless if we fought or not. Okay, so, but what if not all of us does go? So let's say my heart stays behind, and then that heart goes into someone else. Does that shorten that other person's life because they now have a part of me where my time has expired, and now it's fucking with fate, and then it fucks with their time to go?
No, I think that's a fascinating logic, but no. Because I also have a belief in soul.
I believe in a soul.
Oh, okay. But, like, your heart is not your soul. I don't think it is. I think it's much bigger than that.
Well, yeah, no. Like, for me, I imagine, like, a soul as, like, a little, like, ghost version of myself in myself.
It's a nice little image. So paint that image, but, like, if you take your heart and transfer it into someone else's,
but what if it's a chunk of your soul?
I mean,
it's the heart.
I'm sure the soul are interconnecting. some fate interaction happening, but I don't think that like totally alters that person's fate. Or it is. I think that's all part of the plan. I think it's all part of the plan.
You think so?
I think the fate of that heart going into the next person's heart
meant to be.
Was supposed to happen.
Yeah, if you believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, am I altering that person? No, because that person wasn't meant to go, and they're not supposed to go until...
Yeah, it wasn't their time yet, so you leaving gave them a chance to live even further.
Do I think if there's any form of altering with fate, it's suicide?
Yeah.
Because that is where you really just ended it, when you could have done much more. Mm-hmm. Or you couldn't have, but you could have affected much more. Maybe you would have never felt better. And that is a tough fine line. Now we're diving in.
It starts to get deep.
If you are someone who is thinking you can't keep going, and there are people that struggle for a very long time, and then they finally give up, and it's been, 10 whatever years of being miserable. But in those 10 years, were you really miserable 100% of the time? I'm sure in those 10 years, there's a lot you've changed. There's a lot you did.
Well, you make difference in other people's lives.
Exactly.
I don't think people, think about it that way.
Exactly. And I'm like, but it's tough because but it's like, is it worth it? Because I'm miserable.
I mean, I would argue that, yeah, it's worth it. Because you're around for the other people.
Yeah, so it's like, it's selfish, but it's not, because it's your life, and if you don't want to live it anymore, then it's like, I guess that's up to you, but you're fucking with fate, because you were supposed to stick around for other people to need you.
The whole butterfly effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could not have said it better.
Yep.
There's a word for it.
There's a word for it. All right. Shall we lighten it up?
All right.
All right. So this one is changed boyfriend. So a 25-year-old graduate student had cystic fibrosis and received a heart and lung transplant. So double whammy again. His sex drive suddenly surged, which I was like, he's a dude and it wasn't already surging?
Well, he was... See, my head goes to,
he was
sick.
Yeah.
Of course he didn't have any...
now he feels
drive.
He's got a whole new life.
I don't blame him.
But apparently his technique vastly improved. Quote unquote.
Sex technique
vastly
How
improved.
Old is he?
And this was overnight. This is 25 years old.
Okay, I want to make sure it wasn't inappropriate. That I'm like, ooh!
Under 18. It said, quote, I make love like I know exactly how a woman's body feels and responds. And then his girlfriend concurs, saying that he's, quote, a much better lover now.
Were they lovers before the surgery?
Mm-hmm.
That's sweet.
So she had a little taste of before, and then she's having a taste of after. And then outside of the bedroom, other changes include that, he was never, cuddly, but now he's, a hugger and, likes the personal touch as one of the love languages, loves to go shopping, and will even carry a purse, goes to museums, which is something that he would never do, and then, now they go, every week.
Let me guess. His heart's from a woman.
A young lesbian who did landscaping paintings. Oh, we should have made this a game as guess a donor.
So funny, because I'm thinking a woman knows what a woman wants.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, how did he know so much? How did he get so much better?
Yeah,
okay.
A young lesbian.
Because I'm like, even if he came from a sex master that's a male, surely all these other things you're describing are not from a sex master.
Right, wouldn't pertain.
That's hilarious. You said she was an artist too?
A painter, yeah.
Oh, bless it.
Yeah. So I thought that one was cool. Let's see here.
I do wonder, my initial questions. 1, how long were they dating before he was sick? 2, was she only dating him while he was sick? And then it just carried over into seeing him while he was sick and the aftermath of being sick. 3, I forgot.
Like, yeah, if you've been sick your whole life, you don't have interest in going to museums, you don't have the energy to go shopping, sex drive, libido is low. All of a sudden, you get a heart and lung transplant, and now you feel amazing, re energized, and you want to do all the stuff that your girlfriend likes to do, which is maybe go shopping and go to the museums, because now you do have the energy, and you are extra spicy in the bedroom because you just fucking love life. So, you could explain it, various ways.
Oh, and okay, I do remember it. But like your body before it's sick, it knows it's going to be sick. I feel like that is something that your body does. So,
You think so?
I don't know. I just feel like your body is
Are you saying
a
like,
powerful thing.
are you saying so different than intuition, where you feel like something is off?
Yes.
Or you're saying it is that?
Intertwine, maybe a little bit of that, a little bit of A, a little bit of B, because I'm thinking like you before your body knows, like you don't even feel like something's off, but like your body's sex drive is down, and it has nothing to do with it, it's because there's actually something going on.
Ooh, I can
Just
see
like your
'Cause
body it's failing on itself, and then it gets sick. You know?
I'm thinking like woman's cycle pre-period. The body knows you're going to start your period, so it starts bloating, it starts doing all this stuff. My body knows before I do. I am always surprised, even though I track it on the app.
Yes, that's a great example.
Your body knows that it's getting ready to shed.
Yes. So I don't know why that made me think, but I'm like, before that he had this heart transplant, I wonder what he was like as a person before, if he was starting to get a little,
Yeah, and I don't have those details. I don't know.
I want to know.
These episodes would be like 4 hours if we had literally all the details. All right, I'll just do a couple others, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
All right, so this one, I don't know the name of the woman, but she went to a psychiatrist because she felt like she was going crazy. So she wanted to confirm, am I or am I not? And it's because she started having these memories of things that have never happened to her before. Call them memories, call them visions, whatever you want to call them, right? She started seeing things that she used to not see. The predominant vision or memory is of being hit by a car. It's just a reoccurring vision memory of being hit by a car. So not only did she remember it, but she could feel it. So she could feel an impact on like the left side of her torso as if she had been hit.
Okay.
And she's never been hit by a car in her life, never has had like a near-death experience or close to getting hit by a car.
Like her body hurts?
The left side has feel like a dull sensation that like
Ugh.
she's been hit there before.
Okay.
She did have a heart transplant 2 years prior. So this lady, she eventually met the family, and she found out that her donor was a young boy who was playing tag, and he ran into an alley and then was hit by a car on his left side.
Oh no. That's
Yeah.
so sad.
It's tragic.
These stories, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this is like, so for 2 years she's having these visions, knows nothing about the donor, and then finds out 2 years later that it was a young boy who did get hit by a car.
I am a
his
little
left side.
surprised that there is not more research done into this
Right?
by this point, because of all the transplants that have happened at this point.
But I feel like it's almost one of those things that like it would be too hard to research because like, I mean, there's so many different factors and variables person to person, right?
Of course.
And so, you have all of these things that could affect one person who would be the donor, and then all these other things that could affect the recipient. There's not enough, like, what are they called, where you have the control. There's not enough controls. But I feel like you would still be able to, like, research, about memory, storage in DNA, or...
Well, the way I see it is that transplants have been going on for a long time. And if, again, like I said, suicide, if there's anything affecting fate, it is heart transplants or donors or anything that science did not have available beforehand and is now available. I mean, think about it. It's like...
so you're saying technology is fucking with fate?
Yeah, or quite frankly...
I think technology can take it too far. Like where they're talking about making babies in like a fake embryo and like a fake belly. outside of a woman's body.
It's so tough because it's like maybe that is the fate. Maybe that person is meant to have the baby that is made outside of the embryo.
In my mind, you weren't meant to have a baby then.
It's,
Like there's like
that goes back to belief and faith.
Right. Like I almost think that IVF, the in vitro fertilization, I think like that is fucking with fate. Like if you can't naturally conceive, then you weren't meant to have children. But I know people that have done IVF and do have their kids, and I'm not like opposed, and I'm happy that that was an option for them. I'm saying for myself, if Vic and I can't naturally have kids, then I'm taking that as a sign we weren't meant to have kids, and I'm not gonna like cross that line and do IVF.
Okay.
Also expenses. Like
What? Yeah. What is the word that I'm trying to say? It is only the fittest survive.
oh, like Darwinism,
No, yes, but also, God, it's gonna drive me crazy.
evolution,
No, like when people die because they
natural selection,
that.
natural selection.
No, that's not it. Everybody jump on board. Let's play a game.
What
is Gina
word is
thinking?
Gina thinking of? I've given it my best shot. I think so.
It's like master cleanup. That's a terrible way to say it.
Purge.
No,
A cleanse.
like, let's face it.
The earth setting itself right. People argue that COVID was earth recalibrating.
What is that called?
Population control.
This is gonna kill me inside.
Dude, I think it was one of the words that I said. What else are you thinking?
Okay, pause because I can't do it.
Where's your phone?
What is the word?
What word are you thinking? Say the other words that are synonyms.
I'm almost saying supply and demand. That is not at all what that is.
Okay, give me some context. We're talking about babies being made outside.
Screw that.
Okay.
Just like, think of like things are constantly being controlled. Like it's close to the control population, but like.
Fate? Oh, watch out. Tugging on this.
God damn it.
God bless America. I'll look up synonyms for population control.
Kill me.
It's telling me synonyms for population control, birth control, contraceptive. No, I don't mean it like that.
Like only the fittest survive.
Well, survival of the fittest is Darwinism. Yeah, Darwinism. Is that what you're thinking of?
I guess it was maybe natural selection.
Natural selection, Darwinism.
They're like, what's cancer? It's a vague, terrible question.
I know in what terms that you mean, but that's where I'm saying, like, I mean, you could argue it's our own demise, it's the government, I mean, fate, population
I don't know
control.
If I can go on with this episode.
Until you find the answer,
We're gonna have to, because it's not gonna hit me, but it's actually driving me insane.
that's why I don't know what other term. I feel like I've said all the terms that I know of. I know what you're thinking of, but I don't know what word you're trying to think of.
just natural selection. No, population control. I think it is population control. I think it's population control.
So one of the things that I said.
Maybe.
Okay.
I think there's another word.
Text it to me when you think of it tonight.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
God, I hate this. Keep going.
Shall we continue?
Yeah.
All right. Couldn't figure out Gina's word, but
God, it was so painful.
I feel like it's one that I said. If you know it, write in. Let us know what Gina was thinking.
Okay.
All right, 2 more. So, a 9-year-old boy received the heart of a 3-year-old girl. 9-year-old receiving the heart of a 3-year-old.
That's so sad.
Right?
Also, is it fully developed? I feel like
At
that's
3, it's
your body is growing so much.
well,
Like you as a 9-year-old to get a 3-year-old's heart, that doesn't make sense.
seems like it's kind of small.
Yeah,
But
that
it
doesn't
will,
work
will
for me.
like grow with the 9-year-old. But at the same time, you can't get a heart of like a 40-year-old into a 9-year-old.
Right.
That's
I
too
feel
big.
like that's a really fine line. Because your heart's too small to pump blood fast enough for a 9-year-old body.
Maybe it was a small 9-year-old and a big 3-year-old.
Well,
I don't know.
guess so. All right.
I don't know. But yeah, that surprises that at 3 years old you can donate organs, but I guess children need it also. Prior to the transplant, the boy was a major water lover, but after the surgery, he is now scared to death and terrified of water. Doesn't want anything to do with it. And then he started exhibiting emotions that he hadn't prior, such as like sadness and fear, but also 9 years old, traumatic experience. The boy and the family, they never learned any information on the donor. But these people that are scientists, reporters that are looking into these cases, they find out information. And then they get information on the donor, and we find out, but the family never chose to find out about the donor.
Okay.
So the 3-year-old who was the heart donor was a child that drowned at her mother's boyfriend house while she was being babysat by a teenager who was on the phone when it happened.
Oh.
So drowned.
Okay. Yeah.
And now he's scared of water.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're speaking of a kid, it just hits a little different because they're not faking it. They don't know anything. They only know what they
nothing.
feel.
Yeah.
So that one, I don't know. That one hit different for me.
All right, last one. 47-year-old man used to hate classical music. He received the heart of a 17-year-old who was killed in a drive-by shooting. The teenager loved classical music and would play it all the time, and was actually walking to his music class holding his violin when he was shot.
He had in a shooting?
A drive-by shooting.
What the fuck?
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
And so now this 47-year-old man loves classical music.
Again, another scenario where I'm like, you're getting a heart of someone so young. Kind of back to Sonny Boy when he was like a 57-year-old man and got the heart of an 18. What'd you
No,
say?
he was like 27 or something like that.
That's crazy to get such a young heart.
Okay, but you're not like, who wants a heart of a 50-year-old?
The way around, right? I agree
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly.
But I'm thinking like, if you're getting a heart that is half your age, oh my gosh,
Fucking use it.
Use it. Go be young. Go live life. I'm still upset with Sonny a little bit.
Yeah, and that's where it's hard, right? It's controversial.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would agree. Like, you were given another chance, and you kind of blew it,
Yeah.
literally.
Oh my god.
All right. So, some closing thoughts. Maybe consider before accepting an organ.
Thanks, Maria. We're all appreciative of that.
But it is something to kind of like think about. But I mean, who's gonna say no, right?
Right.
You know. But the other thing to think about is like, okay, what if you do get the heart of like a genius or a music lover? But what if you get the heart of a rapist?
Someone evil.
Yeah.
I do think about that actually. Because it's like, ugh, it's just gross. Like, they're inside of you.
Yeah.
A piece of them, whether it's taking a piece of their soul or not. There's a piece of a horrible person
living inside of you, and their cells are circling around in your body, which we've learned.
Because that's digging in. That's taking it too far. I don't even want to touch. I don't even want to look at someone that is like a rapist or, someone who's murdered someone or done something really bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere around them.
Let alone them like be in you.
Yeah. So it's like that alone
part of
is just disturbing. I don't know.
But to give some people some peace of mind, because we've given a lot of stats that confirm, the stories, right? Mm-hmm. So there was another study that I found where it interviewed 49 patients in Vienna, Austria. This is 2 years post-transplant. 79% of them said they experienced no personality change whatsoever. So in this study, 80% said no change whatsoever. 15% that, yeah, they did experience a personality change, but due to a life-altering event, i.e. fucking surgery or something else within those 2 years.
Okay.
And only 6% said that, yes, they experienced a new personality change due to their hearts. So we have studies confirming, yes, a heart will change you, and then studies showing, like, no, it won't. So.
What do you think?
I think you can change personality-wise. I think it depends how strong. And again, we're going back to universe and energy and stardust, right? So I think like it depends how strong that person's energy and like either like their love or their hate towards the world or something specific, how strong that was. And then I think it depends on you, on the person, like if you're also strong or not. Can it, like, it's almost like Venom. Have you seen Venom with Tom Hardy? So, it would depend, like, if you can stay true to yourself or if you're more susceptible to change.
Oh, because did you get hit with some?
No, like Venom is like Spider-Man. Just instead of getting bit by a spider, he's got like this little parasite in him.
Okay, checks out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm of the belief that, yeah, it could happen.
See, but my real question is, do you think the personality is changing because it is connecting to the cells and all the good stuff?
Yes, I do believe that.
I don't think so. I'm going on the other side. I think your personality is going to change no matter what because you are given a second life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do I think a part of them is with you that gives you, like, weird phenomenons? Yes, but I don't think that is dictating your personality change.
Right. Yeah, I could agree with that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got a love for classical because,
like, I do think you get, like, a little taste of that person.
Yeah.
But, like I think that Claire lady took it way too far. I think she saw an opportunity, and this is strictly my opinion, theorizing here. I think she saw an opportunity to make some money off of it and, like, leaned into it hard. Because hers, to me, was the least compelling story.
She's got a lot of bills to pay.
Yeah, a lot of hospital bills.
So, do what you gotta do, girl. It's time out here.
But I did really love the title of her book, Change of Heart.
Yeah,
like,
it's cute.
Bitch, that is catchy. Gotta give her that. All right.
So
I do have a weekly wow.
To consider, I can't even say it. To consider your options before you get a change of heart.
Maybe reconsider before accepting an organ.
Yes.
That's not the weekly wow.
No.
But perhaps, weekly wow. We're getting into Christmas time. And people are shopping, buying gifts, and I urge people to support small businesses.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Instead of buying from, big corporations and just, making the rich richer, like, support your small business friends.
You know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
Don't stop people in the middle of the conversation of their shopping. Try to have a full book.
We're Christmas shopping. So one, don't stop random strangers.
Like, really having a hard time taking you seriously as you were going into that. Dude, and then you said something serious and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
This is like actually just sheer coincidence because I already had this weekly wow before I even went Christmas shopping. Did I go shopping at a mall? Yeah. But I have plans of going to small businesses that I want to get some stuff at.
I love that. No, I did a lot of my shopping on Etsy for that reason, without you knowing that. Etsy has a lot of small businesses.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some of the people that we know that I'm going to shout out. So small business shout outs, and then you can add yours. So the Bone Carver, I'm going to call her out.
Okay.
She's the one with the murder doll. If you're into the spook and the mystic, she's got some really gnarly cool stuff. Olivia Parker Prince, that's our friend.
That's our girl.
Yeah, dude. So like this is her artwork. This is her artwork. I don't know what's in the camera frame, but I've got some of her art on my wall. I use her coasters. She's got some really cool naturey stuff. If you're looking to buy a house or to sell a house, so anything real estate, hit up Maddie Leitner. Again, I'm going to link all the socials in the notes.
Sell a house for Christmas?
If you want to buy a house for Christmas.
Yep. Not me discouraging it, but that was like, oh, okay.
I'm shouting out my small business people.
Step out of Christmas. Got it.
If you gifts for her, a whole ass house. Don't know what you get your dad, get him a house. And then the last one that I have, if you're, if Christmas is stressful or if you need like an adjustment, there's a chirophysician. So they're kind of like a PT physical therapist plus a chiropractor. Has like fixed Vic and I and like the rugby team. His name is Jeff Merkt, and he's at Health Source St. Peters. So it's way the fuck out in St. Peters if you're in St. Louis, but recommend.
There we go. Pause.
Unpause.
Okay.
Like, how do you... We paused for private conversation, now we unpaused, and how do you segue to say goodbye?
Bye.
Goodbye.